going to show you how you can get smooth image using the beauty retouch, and also how you can enhance the makeup of your image using the makeup retouch. Let's get right into it. And to follow along, I'll be leaving the link where you can get this website in the description below of this video. So once we open our image inside of Photoshop, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate my layer by pressing on Command J or Control J to duplicate our background layer. Now after that, if I just zoom in on my image, you can see this image has a lot of blemishes, and we have to take out the blemishes first before we use the beauty retouch to smoothen out the skin. Alright? Now to remove the blemishes, I'm going to pick my remove tool right here. And if you don't have the remove tool, you can use the spot healing brush tool or the close stamp tool. So once I pick my remove tool, I'm just going to paint on any blemishes I want to remove. So I'm just going to paint over the blemishes like this, just to remove those blemishes, as you can see. So let me just show you what that does. We just look at the blemishes I painted. If I just click on good right here, it's just going to remove the blemishes for me. You can see the blemishes are no longer there. So let me quickly show you before and after. So see the before and the after, the before and the after. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're just going to remove the blemishes from our image, and it doesn't matter which tool you use, just make sure you remove the blemishes from your image. So I'm going to do that right now. Now you can see we successfully removed the blemishes from this image. So let's see the before and after. See the before and the after, the before and the after. And I'm still going to show you how you can use the Retouching Academy to remove the blemishes even more if you want to do that. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to crop my image 4:5 so that it can actually fit well for Instagram. So to do that, I'm going to come to my crop tool right here and just come to this ratio and just click on 4:5 right here, which is this 8:10, like this, and just crop the image the way I want it. All right. So I'm just going to carefully crop my image. So let's say, all right, so like this works for me. I'm going to click on OK. Now after removing the blemishes, it's time to use the beauty retouch to smoothen out our image. So to do that, I'm just going to click on this beauty retouch right here. And if you don't have this beauty retouch or the makeup retouch, I'll leave the link where you can get it in the description below of this video. And if you use this coupon code TILES20, you are going to get $20 off your purchase. Now with that being said, if I want to smoothen out the skin of this image, once I open my beauty retouch, I'm going to click on focus separation via Gaussian blur because I like using Gaussian blur. So I'm going to click on it. I'm just going to show me the blur radius I want to use. Now for the blur radius, if you want your image to be smooth, use a low blur radius. While if you want to retain texture on your image, use a high blur radius. Now for this image, I'm going to use a radius of 12 and hit on OK. Now you can see that's created a group for us, which is focus separation Gaussian blur. So inside this group, we have our low frequency color and tones, we have our corrective tones, we have our high frequency texture, and we have a high frequency texture copy. So what I'm going to do from here, if I just zoom in on this image, you can see we still have some blemishes on the image. So to remove them, I'm going to pick my close stamp tool. Once I pick my close stamp tool, I'll make sure I'm working on this high frequency texture copy right here. With my high frequency texture copy layer selected, pick my close stamp tool. I'm going to press Option or Alternate to sample from a close by area and just paint it over the blemishes I want to remove. So Option or Alternate to sample and just paint over any blemishes you still want to remove on your image. Also, before you paint, make sure your sample is on current layer and not on all layer or current are below. Make sure it's on current layer. Alright, so just sample with Alternate and just paint. So this is how you can remove blemishes using frequency separation. Alright, so just paint on any blemishes you feel you want to remove from your image. Let me quickly show you before and after so you can just see what we've done so far. Alright, so take a look at the image. So see the before and the after, the before and the after. So if you have time, you can just go through your image and just remove more blemishes. Alright, I feel like this works for me. Now let's smoothen out the skin. Now to smooth out the skin, you know, doing focus separation, we separated the textures and the color, and we want to just mix the colors on the image. So to do that, we pick our mixer brush tool. Once you pick your mixer brush tool, make sure you're using a soft round brush. Alright, and make sure this place is on clean brush. Make sure this clean brush after each stroke is selected. Also, my weight is on 30, my load is on 30. Mix doesn't really matter, you can leave it at 100 or 0, it doesn't really matter. And my flow is on 20 and sample all layer is selected. Now with my mixer brush tool selected, I'm going to come to my layer and just click on this corrective tone right here, which is this empty layer, because that's where I want to be brushing on. Alright, now with this corrective tone selected, I'm going to hide my high texture layer. Once I click on this eye icon right here to hide it, I'm going to see only the colors of this image. So we've hidden the textures on this image, and right now we have only the colors. Alright, so if I turn on the texture, you can see we bring back the texture, but if I turn it off, we've had the textures. So before I start using my mixer brush tool, I'm just going to hide the texture on this image. Alright, now pay close attention. This has been happening to me recently. If I start brush right now, it's just going to paint the color I have right here. But what I do before I start painting, I'm just going to paint on a neutral place or an empty place and just undo that so that I can get my settings right. So I don't know why, but it has been happening to me recently. And this place right here is not really showing the way I want, but it doesn't really matter. I just want you to know that. Alright, so if you have something like this, just ignore it. The only thing I want you to do before you start painting on the subject, you can just first of all mix the background and just undo what you did on the background and start painting on the subject like that. Alright, so I'm going to hide my high texture layer right now. Once I hide it, I'm going to decrease my brush size. So to increase or decrease your brush size, press on the square bracket key on your keyboard. So if you want to paint on a small portion of your image, make sure you're using a small brush. While if you want to paint on a big portion of your image, make sure you're using a big brush. So just increase your brush size depending on where you want to work on. Now if I want to work on this highlight on the nose, I'm just going to reduce my brush size to fit that highlight and just mix the color right there on that highlight. Also this highlight on the nose, just reduce my brush size to mix it. Now if I want to work on this highlight on the forehead, I'm just going to increase my brush size to fit that highlight right there and just paint on it like that. Alright, so make sure you are increasing and decreasing your brush size according to the part of the image you are actually working on. So if you are brushing, make sure you are brushing the highlight separately and the middle separately and the transition separately. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to even out the transition between the highlights and the shadows. Alright, just to make everything look smooth and blend properly. Now if I want to paint on this shadow part, I'm just going to increase my brush size and just paint on this part right here. Alright, so don't brush highlights into shadow and don't brush shadows into highlights. It's very, very important. If you do that, you're just going to make the image look flat and look unrealistic. Alright, so I'm just going to paint on this image. Now come to this part, I'll paint on this highlight on the head separately, paint on this shadow right here separately, just like this. You can see how I'm increasing and decreasing my brush size. Alright, so make sure you are always increasing and decreasing your brush size depending on the area you are working on. Okay, so let me just quickly show you the before and after of what we've done so far, so you can have an idea of what I'm trying to do for the whole of the image. So let's see the before and after. Take a look at the image. Alright, so see the before and the after. The before and the after. You can see the image is looking smooth, and at the same time we still have textures on the image. So I'm going to do this for the whole of the image right now. So I'm going to come to this highlight on the nose. Remember to always hide your high frequency texture, because if you don't hide it and you try to paint, you're just going to make the image look bad, as you can see. So I'm just going to undo that. So make sure you actually hide your high texture layer right here before brushing on your image. Alright, so I'm going to paint on this shadow behind the nose separately like this, and also this highlight on the cheek separately like this, and also the shadow right here on the cheek. I'm just going to brush on them separately just to even out the transition between the highlights and the shadow right there and just make everything look smooth. So basically we're just mixing the colors to make everything look smooth. Alright, so I'm going to do this for the whole of this image and I'll be right back. Okay, also for the body, you can see I'm brushing the highlights separately and also I'm painting the shadow separately. So it's very important, make sure you are actually brushing shadow separately and highlight separately, and also make sure you are increasing and decreasing your brush size according to the part of the image you are working on. It's very, very, very important. Please make sure you do that. So I'm just going to do this for the rest of the image and just show you the before and the after. Alright, take a look at the before and after. See the before and the after. If I zoom in, you can see the image is smooth and we still have textures. See the before and the after. The before and the after. And from here, you can even take your time even more to remove the blemishes from your image. And to do that, like I said earlier, select your high frequency copy right here, pick your close time tool, zoom in on your image, and just look at the blemishes you want to remove. And also, if you want to remove blemishes, you can as well increase and decrease your brush size according to the blemishes you want to remove. Alright, so I'm going to sample from here, or type the option to sample, paint on this part to remove that blemishes, just like that. So you can just take a look at your image and just run through it and remove any blemishes you don't want on your image. But I feel like this works for me, so I'm going to go with this. But I feel like this works for me. I like the texture I'm getting. So see the before and the after. I'm going to remove the blemishes right here. I don't like it, so sample and just remove it, sample and just remove it. Looking better for me. So the before and the after. Go through your image, take your time, look at your image and see what you want to fix and just fix it. Now, after doing our focus separation, next thing we're going to do, I'm just going to make our image pop by using the Retouching Academy dodge and bond. To make this image pop, I'm going to come to my beauty retouch. If you install your Snooly, you might not have it here. So just come to your plugins and just look for beauty retouch right here and just click on it and just going to open up for you. Now, I'm going to click on dodge and bond curves right here because we're going to be using dodge and bond to make the image pop. Once I click on it, it's just going to open a couple of groups for us. But we don't need this visual aid, so I'm going to delete it. What I need is just my dodge and bond group right here. So you can see we have dodge and bond. So inside this dodge and bond group, we have our dodge and we have our bond. Now, if you don't know what dodge and bond is, dodge is to brighten, while bond is to darken. Now, with this dodge and bond, we are going to use the dodge to brighten the highlights on the image and use the bond to darken the shadow part of our image. Alright, so with my bond layer selected, I'll pick my normal brush tool. Remember, make sure you're using a soft round brush, very important. Opacity set to 100. I'm going to use a flow of 2% and hit OK. And also, make sure your foreground color is set to white. If it's on black, it's not going to work. So white reveals and black hide. Now, the reason why I use flow of 2%, if it's on 100% and I just try to paint on this image right now, the effect is going to be too much. As you can see, the before and the after. So I'm just going to remove that. Alright, so take the flow to 2% so that I can gradually build the process up. Alright, so once my flow is on 2%, I'm just going to hide everything I did below this dodge and bond layer so that I can see the original part of the image that is bright and the original part of the image that has shadows. Alright, now once I hide my retouching layers, I'll come to my dodge. With my normal brush tool selected, remember, I'm going to paint on the highlights with a flow of 2 just to brighten up the highlights. Like that. Also, I'll paint on this part right here. I'll also zoom in, just paint on the bright part of the lips and do the same thing for the jaw as well. So I'll come here, do the same thing for the highlights right here. So basically, I'm not going to brush on anywhere I have highlights on my image. That's where I'm going to be dodging, anywhere there's highlights on the image. Alright, so like this works for me. Now for the bond, I'll come to the bond. It just paint on the shadow part of the image, like the cheek right here. Also, dodge this particular part right here, just to make it dark. Also, I'll come behind the nose, just dodge this part right here behind the nose like this. Also, the dark part of the lips like that. Okay, alright. Also, I'll come under the neck and just burn under the neck, and also burn this part right here that there's a shadow. Burn this part right here that there's a shadow, just like that. Alright, so let's see the before and after. See the before and the after. The before and the after. And from here, I'm just going to turn on my retouching layer back on. Now, see the before and after. See the before and the after. The before and the after. And if you are confused, let me just show you what I did in a new layer. Alright. So for the bond, I'll take my flow to 100%. Now for the bond, this is what I did for the bond. I just bond this part of the image like this. This part behind the nose. This part of the lips that are looking dark. This part right here on the lips. Also this part right here on the lips. I just bond them. Also I bond under the neck. I also bond this particular part. I bond this particular part as well. I also bond this particular part and this part right here. That's for the bond. Now for the dodge. I dodge this highlight right here. I dodge this highlight right here. I dodge this highlight right here. I also dodge the highlight here. I dodge the highlights on the lips. I dodge the highlight right here. I dodge the highlight right here. I also dodge the highlight right here and the highlights right here. So that's what I did to my dodge and my bond. I hope you understand right now. Okay. So I'm going to delete this layer because I really don't need it. Okay. Now let's see the before and after for dodge and bond. See the before and the after. The before and the after. Looking so much better. Now to make this image pop even more, I'm going to come to my Retouching Academy again. and just click on glowing skin right here. Once I click on this glowing skin, so it's going to load an action for us. So all you have to do from here is to just pick your normal brush tool with a flow of about 2% or 3% as well, and just paint on only the highlight part of your image. Alright, so just paint on only the bright part of your image just to make it pop even more. Alright, so like this works for me. Alright, so you can paint on all the image if you want, just to add shine to the image, but like this works for me. So let's see the before and after. So see the before and the after, before and the after. Just a subtle difference, but it works. The before and the after. Now, before I show you how to enhance the makeup using the makeup retouch, let me show you how you can use the Retouching Academy to add digital textures to your image. Now, to add digital texture on your image, just click on this Retouching Academy and just click on digital texture right here. I'm just going to load and do its thing. Now, from here, all you have to do is pick your normal brush tool, make sure your foreground color is set to white, and just take your flow to 100%, zoom in on your image, and just paint on the skin of your image to add that digital textures to your image, just like that. So I'm going to show you the before and after so you can see the before and after of these digital textures. Alright, so I'm just going to paint on only the face. I'm not going to paint on the body. I'm going to paint it on only the face. Alright, so this is how you can add digital texture to your image using the Retouching Academy. Now if I zoom in, just take a look at the image. See the before the digital texture, after, the before and the after. I like it like this, but I'm just going to reduce the opacity a little bit to about, let's use 60. So 60 works for me. So the before and the after, the before and the after, so much better. Now let's go to the makeup retouch. So I'm going to open this makeup retouch right here. Inside this makeup retouch, the first thing I want to do is to whiten the eyes. Now to whiten the eyes, I'm going to click on this eye drop right here. Once I click on that eye drop, it's just going to open some group for us. Now to whiten the eyes, it's very important. Make sure you're using a soft round brush. And this time, opacity set to 100, flow set to 100. And come to this clean eye white right here. Once you select this clean eye white layer, just zoom in on your image on the eyes and just paint on the eyes right here. I'm just going to whiten the eyes for you. As you can see, it's also going to remove those veins inside the eyes, just like that. So I'll come to this side and do the same thing for this other one. And just going to whiten the eyes for me like this. So let's see the before and after for the eyes. See the before and the after. The before and the after. Now if you want to bring back some of the details on the eyes, just open this group right here and just scroll all the way down and come to this removing blood vessel and just take down the opacity down a little bit to bring back some details on the eyes. Alright, so and this works for me. See the before and the after. The before and the after. Now, if you want to change the eye color, just click on this change color right here and just paint on the eyes just like this. It's just going to change the colors of the eyes for you if you want to do that. So see the before and the after. And to select different colors, just double click on this hue saturation right here. It's going to open the hue saturation properties for you. And just play with the hue slider right here to select different colors you want. So I think I'm going to add a little of this color right here. Red, oranges right here. Or brown. And just take down the opacity a little bit for the eyes. Alright, so see the before and the after for the eyes. The before and the after. Now next I'm going to do, I'm just going to enhance the eyes right here. Just give it that smoky look. So to do that, I'm going to come to this makeup retouch. Just click on this smoky eyes right here. Once I click on that smoky eyes, it's just going to load for me. Once it loads for me, I'm going to pick my normal brush tool. And this time, just paint on this part of the eyes that are looking dark. Alright, so like this. Paint on this part as well. Then we're going to fix it. And come to this other eyes and just paint it like this. Alright, so I want to give the image that smoky eye look. So like this works for me. Right now, from what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to these properties with the layer mask selected, open the properties and just feather it a little bit. Once I feather it a little bit, I'm just going to come to the opacity and just reduce the opacity a little bit. So but let's use 35. Okay, 35 works for me. Now take a look at the before and after. See the before and the after. The before and the after. Now if you feel it's too much, you can just reduce the opacity even more. But then this works for me. The next I'm going to do, I'm not going to add more eyebrows to these eyebrows right here. And to do that, I'll come to this makeup retouch and just click on these lashes right here. Once I click on these lashes, it's just going to load for me. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick my normal brush tool. This time, I'm going to use a hard brush. take the fill to 100, opacity 100, and just reduce my brush size. Alright, so let me just zoom so you can see what I'm doing. Once I reduce my brush size, you can see it says here, draw eyelashes here. But I'm not going to be doing eyelashes, I'm going to do the brows. So I'm just going to brush on this part like this to add more brows to the image if you want to do that. So just paint on the brows to add more brows to it like this. Alright, so let this work for me. I'll come to this other one. Just do the same thing. Just like this to add more brows to the image if you want to do that. Now this one is optional, you don't have to do it, but if you want to do it, this is how you can actually do it. So you can take your time to just add it to all the image. But let this work for me. So let's see the before and the after. Now see the before and the after. The before and the after. Let this work for me. Now to get the color looking right, just click on this color right here, double click on it, and just sample this color right here, any color, just to make the color blend, and hit OK. And from here, you can choose to just reduce the opacity of this group. So come to the group and just reduce the opacity a little bit like so. Alright, so let's see the before and the after. So see the before and the after. The before and the after. So much better. Now next thing I want to talk about is maybe you want to change the lipstick of your model or your subject. What you have to do is click on this makeup retouch and just click on this lipstick right here. Once you click on the lipstick, it's just going to open a layer mask for you. So just paint on the lipstick. Now this time with my normal brush tool selected, I'm going to change this to a soft round brush again. Then increase the brush size and just paint on the lips just to change the colors of the lips right there. Okay, so like this works for me. Alright, so be careful when doing this so you don't go overboard. And this works for me. So see the before and the after. But I feel it's looking too much. So to modify it, just open the group. Once you open the group, you can turn off this contrast. You can turn off this darken side. And also you can turn off this lighter shade like this. I think I'm going to turn on this lighter shade. I think it looks better for me. So let's see the before and after. See the before and the after. And from here, you can choose to reduce the opacity. Also, if you want to change the color, just scroll all the way down and just click on this color right here. Double click on it to open the properties and just select any color you want like this. Alright, so I think like this works for me. I'm going to click on OK and just reduce the opacity of the group. Alright, so come to the opacity and just take it down a little bit. So that let's use 40 works for me. Alright, now let's see the before and after. So see the before, take a look at the lips, the before and the after. The before and the after. Now let me just group everything I did so you can see where we started from and where we are right now. So see where we started from, then just take a look at the image, see where we started from, and see where we are right now. The before and the after. The before and the after. Now last time I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to my action and just click on this switch tone right here to add contrast to the image. Once I click on it, I'm going to take down the opacity just like this. Alright, then this works for me. So the before and the after. The before and the after. So this is how you can smooth your image using the Retouching Academy, and also how to enhance the makeup on your image using the makeup retouch. I hope you find this video useful and helpful, and if you want to learn how to get realistic background and apply it to your image, check out this video right here. I'll see you guys in my next one. Stay creative.